Alright, and I'm back. So after a Spectre pick in Game 2, both teams have kind of had very dominant mid-game performances in Game 1 and Game 2. Game 1, Virtus.Pro, very, very strong. They had a good laning phase, and they just capitalized and capitalized and capitalized. Game 2, Tidehunter picked Spectre and didn't get punished for it, which was critical. So Loda basically just got so farmed that there was nothing at all that VP could do about it. Game 3, we'll see what happens. I'm perfectly happy and ready to jump into the draft with you guys right now. NTH now having first pick in Radiant once again. Next Assassin going to be the first ban, followed by Keeper of the Light. See maybe if NTH wants to try to sneak something interesting through, if they're just going to ban the Bat Rider. Force VP to use their last ban on the Wisp. And they're going to ban the Darkseer and try to sneak the Bat Rider through. The advantage of first pick is basically, obviously you can kind of force one of those top 4 heroes through. VP is thinking, are they considering letting the Wisp go? That would be pretty worrisome to me. We've seen teams recently in a couple of my casts, I believe, they let the Wisp go and they get horribly, horribly punished for it, and you hope that they've learned never to let the Wisp go ever again.
5 seconds remaining.
Oh, come on, VP. Don't be those guys. Please.
Reserve time.
Please just ban the Wisp. Not that I don't love a good Wisp, but I want a nice back and forth final game. And Wisp doesn't do that. Or at least I've never seen him do that recently. They banned the Gyrocopter.
Radiant team pick.
They're giving NTH the Wisp in exchange for Bat Rider and whatever else they want. Or NTH maybe thinks this is a bait. Is this a mind game being put out by VP? Do they have a plan? Are they going to take an early silencer to try to deal with the Wisp? What happens now is the question. And S4 not just picking up the Wisp, so he's obviously thinking about it, thinking to himself, what happens if I don't take this Wisp? What happens if I don't take the very obvious handoff they're giving me? And they take the Bat Rider. Wisp Chaos Knight going to be the first 2 for VP, I wonder? Magnus? Look, nobody what?
Radiant team pick.
Is Wisp not a real hero? Guys, did I make Wisp up? Is it not, actually a thing? I could have sworn there was this glowing ball of light banned in the last couple of games that is really, really, really strong and is pretty much on permaban status that apparently no one wants now? Look, I know that they made the safe lane, or rather, for Radiant side, they made the easy camp pull pretty much impossible to get the entire camp pulled successfully.
5 seconds remaining.
But that doesn't make Wisp not good.
Reserve
NTH now thinking, so basically VP says, we will give you whatever you want, we want the Magnus and the Lone Druid. That's, they're really good heroes, and they're denying the Lone Druid to Bulldog, who, there's, I think I said it before, but I believe it was Winter who said, basically, anytime you scrim NTH, you always want to ban that Lone Druid. And there's the Wisp. There's the little glowy ball of light that I was questioning the existence of. So Chen and Wisp are going to be picked up, and that's an aggressive first 3 picks from Tidehunter. Wisp, Bat Rider, Chen. That's so much ganking that can get done in the early game, and with Chen on top of that, you can get a lot of pushing done as well. You get a success. Basically, one of the nicest things about Chen is not only does he gank really well with those creeps and push really well, but any gank where you have a couple of creeps and it's not like any of them get lost or get really low or something, where you clear a lane of heroes, basically just turns into a tower push, and you can take at least half the health on the tower, if not more, once you've gotten one good gank off in a lane. So Chen, he basically takes 2 advantages at once. And there's Rubik, stolen by Virtus.Pro. Or, stolen. Yeah, I guess stolen like a spell steal. That's probably what I was thinking. Rubik picked by Virtus.Pro. So Undying going to be picked up, NTH not wanting to deal with him, which is not surprising considering I think they want to mostly have a dual lane going with their Wisp and whoever they pick up to run with him. Nature's Prophet going to be banned out by VP, not wanting to deal with any more global power than the already present Wisp, which I really don't blame them for. Wisp alone is enough of a nightmare to deal with. When you add a Wisp to a Nature's Prophet, or you add a Wisp to a Keeper of the Light, things just get awful. NTH thinking. So there are in fact 3 good partners for Wisp. I mean, 3 particularly good partners who we all know about. There's the super optimal ones, which are either Tiny or Chaos Knight, depending on what you want to do with them. The draft NTH is going for, I wouldn't be surprised if they were leaning towards a Tiny, because it would be very nice early game, some extra push if he gets a quick Ags, which, you know, knowing that that is a thing, I wouldn't be surprised to see Tiny banned out by VP before he gets around to the picking phase. There's also the Chaos Knight, I believe I mentioned, and there's also the Sven, who is, you know, less popular of a pickup. We haven't really seen him a lot recently, but Sven Wisp is still a powerful combo and can be executed quite nicely if you don't have a better option available. What is VP thinking right now? I would be banning a Tiny at the very least, and probably a Chaos Knight too, but maybe that's just, maybe I don't know the secret counter to Wisp. Maybe none of us do. They ban Clockwork. They don't want to deal with him. I mean, Clockwork, again, that's some very long-range initiation and gank presence who can get in on top of the Wisp and make him even more effective. Because obviously, the more people you have who can move who have a lot of mobility and can move nearly as effectively as the Wisp, the more deadly the Wisp is. I mean, if that makes sense, basically, if you have a lot of high mobility heroes, you can basically strike anywhere on the map at any time, and your opposition has to ward up ward as much of the map as possible, of course, but they have to also still play very carefully, because a Wisp can get anywhere he wants without being seen by wards. NTH going to take out the Luna, not wanting to deal with any extra push coming in off the Luna aura, and not wanting to deal with the mid-game power of the Luna ultimate. They don't want to deal with the bouncing glaives. You know, she's good at, you know, counter-pushing thanks to both. And there goes the Chaos Knight ban. Tiny going to be the pickup here. I probably would have banned the Tiny over the Chaos Knight, quite frankly. I think with the lineup that NTH is already building, the Tiny is scarier. But could just be me. Could just be me. I don't question that a Chaos Knight ban is valuable. The ban I'm really questioning is the Clockwork. But I guess you're more interested in banning the heroes that work well outside of the Wisp combo than the Wisp combo itself, apparently. That seems to be what they're going for right here.
Reserve time.
And I wonder, I mean, here's the Silencer isn't banned, but I mean, NTH could still pick a support Silencer to go, or not NTH, Virtus.Pro could pick a support Silencer to go in their tri-lane, whereas NTH can't really fit him into their lineup unless they want to mid him. Which, then again, I mean, Silencer against Magnus, I wouldn't want to play that matchup. I just hate Silencer when I'm not playing him. Love him when I'm playing him, as I think I've expounded upon plenty for you guys in the past. Come on, Tiny. Tiny. I mean, I guess you can't really be afraid of VP picking Tiny in this situation, so you don't really need to worry about picking him as your fourth. Maybe you can pick up your mid. Maybe a Queen of Pain to combine with the Wisp mobility would be particularly effective. A Beastmaster would not be a bad idea. Brewmaster, okay. So they get some Blink initiation. It'll be a little longer until he hits his stride than someone like a Beastmaster or a Queen of Pain, who can pretty much start ganking the second they hit 6. But Wisp with Brewmaster is not a bad combo. Lets him get off ganks he wouldn't otherwise be able to get. Can get him in and out of team fights that he might otherwise miss. Can make him more able to effectively use that ultimate in the mid game before he has all of his gear to be effective. Before he has his Blink Dagger. We'll see if they maybe dual mid Wisp Brewmaster. You never know. Could happen. Although with a jungler, running that dual mid would be a little awkward, I guess. Especially because you have the jungler, so if you try to offlane the Batrider, then you can't, well, whoever your offlaner is, whoever ends up being an offlaner, they can't just fall back to the jungle because Chen's taking it. They have to end up splitting the jungle, which then means you're not really using the jungle experience. You're not maximizing your experience intake on the map. One of the main reasons a jungler is particularly good is because otherwise, basically the whole time where everyone is farming the lanes, the whole laning phase, the jungle can in fact just sit there untouched except for a couple of pull camps, and that's a lot of wasted experience because you're not getting the kills and you're not causing those creeps to respawn. The more often you clear the jungle, the more available farm and experience there is on your side of the map, whereas otherwise you just have the 30-second creep wave spawns to come for. VP also taking their time. They still need a support and a carry. Maybe a Shadow Demon, maybe a Bane, both particularly good supports, not picked up. They're going to pick up the Jakiro. Okay. So they're picking up not only a good support with a solid stun, but it's a good AoE stun, it's very good team fight AoE, and he combos very well with the Magnus. Because RP into, you know, Macropyre into, NTH I think are really the only ones that pick Ricky, but that's awesome. I love seeing this happen. They play, if I recall correctly, a pretty aggressive sort of Ricky. And we'll see if it works out for them. I would have liked to see a Tiny with this lineup, as I mentioned like a million times, and Phantom Lance are going to be the carry pickup for VP. So basically saying, okay, if you don't just kind of kill us early, you will eventually just have too much to deal with from this Phantom Lancer and the Lone Druid. The split push power will be too much, and you won't be able to hold your base, even if you can somehow win a fight, which NTH is not looking to win fights with this lineup. They're looking to get pickoffs. They have some good team fight abilities between the Brewmaster ultimate and the Chan ultimate, but the power, I mean, also the Ricky Smoke Cloud. For those of you who don't really think about that, it's like, what, something like a 50% miss chance, maybe more, and it silences everyone in the area and slows them. Here, let me double check the exact stats on it. 40, 50, 67% miss chance, 25% slow, and a 6-second silence in a 325 radius if they can't get out of it. That's brutal. Absolutely brutal, and can totally screw up a team fight. But they have the Batrider, they have the Wisp. The Brewmaster with the Wisp can get a lot of pickoffs. The Ricky can get a lot of pickoffs. But if you try to engage into, you know, Jakiro Magnus, and they get a good engagement, those two heroes alone can wipe your whole team. Or at least all of your supports, and force you to fall back. Especially if they get the Chen and he doesn't get his Hand of God off. Absolutely horrible for your team. Looks like NTH wants to get into the enemy jungle. They want to get a very early start on this. They do have the Wisp, who's very, very good for helping you in your chases early. Maybe he'd want to... What is Batrider? He did go Sticky Napalm, so it's not like he went something crazy like Firefly or something early. Looks like Bulldog is actually going to be on the Brew, so it'll probably be an off-lane Brewmaster. I'll run down the lineups quickly once we see whether or not there's going to be an engagement in here. They're already warding up, trying to prevent the Druid from getting any sort of jungle experience if they pressure him out of lane. And prevent that, basically prevent this safe lane from being stacked and pulled to try and get a little bit of extra experience for VP up in this top lane. Looks like there is going to be no engagement, so we're going to have Bulldog playing the Brewmaster, Ake back on the Chen once again, EGM playing the Wisp, Loda on the farming Ricky, and S4 going to be playing the Batrider. On Virtus.Pro's side, we're going to have Vampire playing the Rubik, Santa on the Jakiro, Illidan Stormrage / Airman going to be playing that Phantom Lancer, and KSI back on his Lone Druid. And it looks like he is going to successfully get that creep pull most likely. He might be trying to stop this real quickly. Oh, he missed one of the melee creeps, so a little bit of experience. Alright, they're getting the tether stun, try to get as much damage on this bear as possible. And with the Wisp, it's very easy to chase him down. Even though the bear has the 320 move speed, the extra move speed from tether can let you chase. A lot of bear micro, just basically trying to get things back in range is KSI. And Loda's just going to pull the creeps around the enemy creeps, see if he can get them to engage the bear, but now the bear turns around and goes the other way, so he knows that isn't going to happen. Going into the mid lane, oh man, this is not a matchup I would like to play either. Basically, laning against a Batrider is, for those of you who've never done it, it's pretty much hell. It's like, if you are the most terrible sort of person in the world, like you kick babies for fun, and you laugh at homeless people, and you basically don't want to be nice to anyone ever, the circle of hell they send you to involves just laning against a Batrider forever. And look at this, 6 stacks of that napalm. That's, oh man, all the damage. S4's got to be so careful. Wow, just as I'm talking about how amazing Batrider is, S4 gets a little bit over aggressive. Thinks he can tank a little more tower damage than he can. I mean, the 7 stacks of napalm are incredibly deadly. I mean, basically, if Batrider gets more than like two or three stacks of napalms on you, he can pretty much just go on you anytime. Unless you're sitting under a tower and you have a bunch of nuke damage to return at him like TMW just did. Well played by TMW to make sure he picked up that first blood and not S4, excuse me. Sloppy by S4 though. Looks going in again. Oh, it tries to get the skewer as he was flying over him with the Firefly. That would have been pretty big. If TMW could get a second kill in this lane, it would be absolutely huge. And oh, cliffs do not stop that Bat Rider. Don't you go thinking cliffs do a thing against that Bat Rider. TMW now trying to run away. He knows he's in some trouble right here. It looks like, oh, Ake's here as well as his EGM. They're getting the chase going on. And S4 is going to have no problem chasing down. Oh, they're going to back off. They're going to back off. They don't want to chase any further. That's interesting to me. I think they probably could have gotten him. But now EGM might be in trouble. He's taking some damage coming out from this Magnus. Now just tethers himself away to Ake. And now TMW thinking about just denying himself to Roshan. Knows he... Oh no, he's just going to skewer himself back up to his tower. Oh, Test of Faith very nearly brings him down. Spirits are out, but they're not getting close enough to actually do anything. KSI has been, in the meantime, farming this mid lane. And now going to burn off his salve right there on TMW, who he knows needs a little bit of help. EGM and Ake just farming up down here. Bring up our last hits real quick. Ricky, 20 and 3, farming uncontested. Phantom Lancer, 20 and 5. Farming uncontested. Hanging out right now, doing a little bit of creep pulling, taking this hard camp for a little bit of extra gold. Bada bing. Rubik just lifting up Bulldog right there, trying to make sure there's always someone in the lane so Bulldog can't just get easy farm. At least he has to worry about denies. He has to worry about maybe getting lifted, play a little careful. And Vampire on level with Brewmaster, so not doing half bad himself. Just one moment, please, guys. Sorry about that. I'm starting to get a little bit of a throat and nose thing. You can probably hear it in my voice. A little bit sick. But I'm not about to stop gasping for you guys. Just needed to clear my throat. TMW got to be a little careful not to get any more stacks on him. I mean, but he did get a nice long chase and still managed to live last time, despite the fact that a bunch of heroes shifted over to kill him. Kind of surprising because Bat Rider, like I was trying to say earlier, incredibly strong and very easy to punish anyone who lets you get more than 2 or 3 stacks of napalm. And oh, very, very quickly, nice steal coming out on that Haste Rune, and now Vampire has to know he's in some trouble unless there's the Ice Path to try and defend the Rubik. He gets lifted, takes the nuke damage. Is the auto attack going to hit? No, the uphill miss. The uphill miss. He's still trying to chase, though. More damage comes out. He does finally bring down the Rubik. Now, oh, just barely dodging out that Ice Path as well. S4 going balls deep right here. Gets out a Firefly. He's going to get another kill. He's got another kill with that Firefly and that haste. What fantastic play by S4 right there, knowing exactly how far he could go. Not quite as sloppy as he was against that tower against TMW. Knowing that Phantom Lancer didn't really have anything to do damage to him with. He knew the Dual Breath was on cooldown and he didn't need to worry about that, and he juked that Ice Path out with that Haste Rune at the last second to avoid getting stunned and taking a lot of return damage. Really excellent play coming out right there. Very impressive.
Don't burn your fingers.
Wow. And what did he just buy? He bought oh, he's got his Tranquils and his Wand. So now basically he's, you know, lasting in lane eternally. Every time TMW throws out a Shockwave, he gets a little bit more mana coming out. But and bada bing. Got his lasso now. He's nearly level 7 even. There, alright, he's looking like he might want to harass TMW a little. He gets his level 7, puts his extra point into Firefly, and thinks he wants just a little bit more damage. Not as interested in getting the sticky napalm leveled any further. Is he maybe going to try and lasso TMW up to the tower? I don't know. Takes a little bit of damage coming in from that that Shockwave. Problem is, if he tries to lasso, he doesn't really have any mana to follow it up with anything, so he has to be a little careful about that. And the napalm stacks have now fallen off. He's just going to use the Firefly. Oh, there's the skewer. If TMW wanted that kill, if he caught the skewer, followed by a quick RP, it probably could have brought him down. But, oh, look at that damage coming out from all those auto attacks with all those napalm charges just sitting on top of him. Bottle comes back just at the right time for S4 right there. Get all of his, or a chunk of his mana back so he can keep being active. And a regen rune. That's going to be all of his mana coming back. And TMW checking the top rune, finding out it's not there, just sends the courier back with his bottle after he drinks his last sip. It's going to make a quick delivery over to the top lane. Who's it bringing stuff to? Bringing stuff over to Airman, who's done with his Tranquils, working towards a Diffusal Blade with that Robe of the Magi. Could be working towards drums, but
Radiant's top
I would not be hugely surprised if he went an early Diffusal Blade. Oh, nice skewer coming in. Nice RP. S4 going to take some damage, but I don't think it's going to be enough. He does get the second stack. There's the Flame Break. Oh, nice Ice Path. Nice Ice Path coming in from Santa playing that Jakiro. Saves the life of his comrade. Batrider are going to pop off a regen room, but they are not going to bring down Magnus and steal his horn today. Was not worth their life to try for his horn. Top tower being pushed in by Airman and Vampire up here.
Radiant's top tower is taking hits.
Damage coming out. Bulldog gets a little bit of a stomp. We do have a port coming in from Ricky here. There we go. Loda trying to be very nice and active early. Does get stunned a little bit out by that telekinesis, but doesn't matter. Backstab damage. What is Loda going for his build? Yeah, he's eschewing smoke screen completely. Pretty much just saying, alright, you know what? I don't need this right now. We're not team fighting. I need damage. Oh, well, never mind. Not eschewing it anymore. Puts 1 point in it very, very quickly. He has 2 points in the blink for the damage and the slightly lower cooldown. And he's maxed out the backstab so that he has, you know, just a bunch of extra damage to put into people. Gone agility boots, and basically 1 1.25 times your agility. He's sitting at 69 agility right now. That means he's getting, on top of his regular 85 damage, he'll get an additional, like 80 or so damage. Basically, that's a DD rune if he's hitting from behind, which is pretty darn sweet. EGM trying to get that level 6. No, he really wants it. And also get himself some boots so he can keep up with whoever he's tethered to. Because that can be a problem if someone's too fast for the Wisp. You know, pro players, obviously, they can compensate for these things with their movement, but there's always the chance that you're going to make a mistake, you're going to break that tether, and get left somewhere just in time to die. EGM not quite getting what he needs, but is very, very close to his level 6, a little more than halfway. Oh, Ice Path is going to come out. Damage is coming in. Nice skewer, going to bring him right back. Tethers away to a creep, but is he going to make it? No, too much damage coming out from Virtus.Pro. Good gank. Need to slow down that Wisp, slow down that level 6. If you stop that Wisp level 6 from coming out super fast, it really alleviates a lot of the mid-game pressure that would otherwise be coming down onto your team from those Wisp ganks. Still, he is very close, only about 120 experience away. He's going to have that in just maybe 3 creeps, is about what 120 experience is. Maybe a little less, depends on what creeps he's killing. Bulldog from the top lane, very close to mana boots if he decides to go that route. I would not be surprised at all. Pretty standard. Off lane or mid brew. Now they're not putting a lot of pressure on him. They're letting Illidan just kind of farm off the jungle right here, get his farm in there. He's got 1,500 gold, so if he was going for drums, he would have gotten them by now. So he's got to be going for that diffusal blade nice and early, make himself more of a fighting force, less about pushing, more about being able to just output damage in the mid game. Ricky is going to get that bottom tower, though, in the mid-time. Nice push coming in from both Ake and EGM to help him out right there. EGM very close. There's his level 6. Oh, the Ice Path just barely not far enough to get his hands on that Wisp. Santa wanting a repeat of that kill earlier, but not necessarily smart to do it with if you have the Ricky around. I mean, you have the Sentry Ward, but you only have 2 heroes to try and deal with 3. Would not have been a great engagement. In the meantime, Batrider has picked up his Blink Dagger. Is it sitting on the courier? No, must be... It said he bought his Blink Dagger. No, it looks like he sold it, actually. He's changed his mind. Interesting. I wonder why he's done that. What's he going to be going instead? Because... Huh. What did he buy instead? Oh, he bought it from the side shop. Oh, I see what it is. He sold it because the courier was already out and he didn't want to have to divert it. So basically, since it was going to bottom lane, he bought it from the side shop instead so that he would get his hands on his Blink Dagger faster. Courier was probably already out when he bought the Blink Dagger. Oh, speaking of the Blink Dagger, catches Vampire out there real quick. Turns around, flame breaks him, gets the damage coming out. The lift goes on to both Loda... Stuns Loda with EGM. Wow, huge RP comes out. Gets both Bulldog and Loda right there, but it's not enough to get anything done. Loda does pick off Magnus. He is going to fade again really quickly. Nice Tornado is going to stop the Phantom Lancer. Mag does buy back. His RP is already down. All he's going to have is Shockwave damage to put out, and Bulldog just booking it with those. Oh, he ends up in a bad position off of that Earth Panda respawn, but he does get off the clap to prevent anyone from chasing him down. Phantom Lancer Illusion's trying to chase down S4, but they don't have the... oh, there's TMW trying to get in the Lance! The Lance finishes it off right after the Shockwave. Ake now going to try and punish that Magnus for going in a little too far, and Wisp, Bulldog, and Ake together bring them down nice and clean, and a Flame Break finishes off Jakiro as well. So what could have been... I mean, what started off as a nice little engage with the pick-off of Rubik for NTH ended in a much bigger fight than really needed to happen for VP, and I think a much bigger fight than they really should have engaged in, because NTH has much better early game and reasonably stronger mid game, and since they've had a laning advantage so far, I think that was just a poor engagement choice from VP, even though they got a decent RP off. And then, you know, the Magnus bought back. He picked off the, you know, he picked off the Batrider, but he did it, wow, I'm sorry, I'm stuttering like crazy. He did it with a buyback, and then at the same time, died again because he dove too far. So basically, just a lot of overcommitment coming out from VP really cost them a lot in that fight. And we see now the XP graph over 4,000 in favor of NTH, and the gold graph over 3,000. So they're off to a very solid start at this 12.5-minute mark.
Dire's top tower's getting
S4 sitting up here with an invis. Does he have his lasso back? I think he should. Yes, he does indeed. Looking to maybe initiate on someone, but he sees the extra support coming up here, thinking maybe it's not the greatest idea. Doesn't have his blink dagger to get out, or excuse me, his force staff to get out of dodge. Is he just gonna? Oh yeah, he is just gonna initiate on Santa. They do not need a lasso for that. And he just blinks out afterwards, uses the invis to just get a little damage off. Loda puts out a lot of damage very quickly, and there's the Wisp poured in, bringing in Bulldog. The nice RP to catch both of them on the way in, but Bulldog's still going to get off the stomp. Does he have his ultimate available? No, he does not. Trying to get damage out. Nice double kill coming out from Batrider. Bulldog taking a lot of damage, but ports out very nicely with the Wisp. S4 taking a lot from the tower, gets entangled by the bear. He might go down right here, but Loda finishes off Rubik in the meantime. KSI not going to get bashed or anything because Loda doesn't have a basher. That's not a bear, it's a Ricky. Very different things. But Loda already on a Yasha and 1,900 gold on top of that. Curious to see what he's going for after that. If he's going to go for a Manta style, perhaps. Because that's, you know, in terms of in-slot agility, which is the stat you really have to be concerned about. Not overall damage on Ricky, but agility, because you're getting, you know, 2.25 times what the agility would be worth as long as you're hitting from behind. So for in-slot agility, Manta style is very, very good. It's one of the best in the game, trumped by, I think, only by Butterfly. And then, of course, there's also Diffusal Blade is particularly good on Ricky. Not only because of the agility it gives him and the fact that it's a very good in-slot agility item, but the Purge to help him chase people down. Except they're running from him, and he's just got them stuck. Then again, he's got an Orb of Venom, so they're already not going to be running away from him too hard. Maybe he'll turn that into a Scotty eventually. That would be funny. KSI trying to farm up here in this bottom lane. Has his Tranquils and the Orb of Venom on the bear. Not really a lot going for him at the moment. How are we doing on net worth? 7 grand for Ricky, who is now about 2 grand ahead of the Phantom Lancer, and that's reasonably significant. The PL does have his Diffusal Blade, but the Ricky Smoke Cloud, I think, I always try to click on them right there, and it just doesn't work. The Ricky Smoke Cloud, once he's getting a few more levels in that, is really going to ruin those PL illusions. Basically, if he puts it on top of someone, PL can't really engage on them for 6 seconds. Those illusions are going to be missing like crazy, the PL himself is going to be missing like crazy, and a lot of that damage is going to be negated. Sitting on 2,700 is Loda. Maybe just going to wait for that extra 250 and buy the entire remaining Manta. And oh, I hear a lasso going off somewhere, and there's a Wisp portal in as well. Rubik's just going to die like crazy. Loda getting stunned out. There goes the dust coming to make sure that Phantom Lancer doesn't get away if they can get it on top of him. It looks like he wasn't even there. It was just his illusions, and he is just running away. Airman knows he is in a bad spot up here. He does not have a TP, though, so he has to be a little worried. Pops off a doppelwalk just to get himself out just a little bit at least. And in the meantime, Chen, not needed at these fights, is just pushing the tower with, you know, a couple of Dark Trolls who are particularly good at this sort of thing because of the Raised Dead, and the Wild Wing, who is particularly good because the Tornado is freaking awesome. Tower does get denied, but that's some map control that they've lost. It's a little bit of gold going the way of no Tidehunter, and after that engagement up top, over 10,000 experience, over 10,000, well, just barely 10,000 gold. So we're not sitting at an incredibly good part for VP right here. They do out-carry, but they don't out-carry so hard that they cannot be a little worried right here. And what I think they need to do is, again, similar to what no Tidehunter really needed to do in the first game, they need to play very carefully, look for overextensions, and punish them with reverse polarity, and then use the fact that you have reverse polarity combined with Macropire and Ice Path and all this AoE to bring down a couple of people who overextend. They need to all be carrying TPs constantly. They can't really extend this far out like they are. Ake is now in trouble in the jungle, but he's got a mech. He's got the Hand of God ready. He's not particularly afraid of dying to this. There goes the Hand of God, and Loda just chasing down Santa. In the meantime, EGM picks off the Rubik. S4 is going to come in. Does he have a Flame Break ready to go? He does not, but Loda just blinks in. He doesn't even care. Damage comes out. Santa goes down, and 3,900 gold. What? Wait, what? Over I mean, okay, the graphs, you can't see the graphs from in-game, so... this is the same thing I saw yesterday with Rock's Kiss, where they basically GG'd before they realized solid team fight. I mean, they had maybe one solid team fight in middle, but I don't think it was quite time to GG. I don't know, I could be wrong. I think VP had a chance if they played super carefully, but they are pretty darn far behind, and it might require some serious throws by NTH, but not a time I would have GG'd. Still, VP doesn't feel they can win it, so NTH takes it 2-1 with some really, after dropping game 1 with some sloppy play, basically they cleaned up their act, came back, and just dominated the next couple of games, no problem. And that's it for tonight, folks. Good games, thanks for coming out. And I'll see y'all hopefully on Friday. Take care now.